On the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. I'm just seeing everywhere the Democrats destroying themselves. It's happening all over the place. They're kind of self-destructing. Things are catching them, and they're getting caught in their own traps, essentially. But they are falling under the weight of their own demise, their own beds that they've made. I don't know how I'm mixing so many analogies at once. It's horrible. It's crazy what's happening right now. We got a lot to talk about with news. Still got some really messed up judges out there, but again, this is part of the theater that needs to happen and play out. And yeah, good stuff. Got a lot to talk about. Let's get to it. John Harold made a post that I swear to God I feel like I can relate to, and it is weird how it works sometimes. But over on the left, they show this picture, if you're not looking at the screen, it shows cheerleaders over on the left. People are saying, Doomer, trust the plan, Fed, panicking, we love taxes. And then you've got over on the right side, black pillars. It says, sellout, Zionist, cult, we're all going to die. And in the middle, I thought we were trying to find the truth. And I agree with that. Now, again, I see people that lead people down the wrong path, and looking for the truth is one thing. Leading people is another. And so, again, I'm cautious sometimes on where we go on that one. Hilarious post, and seriously nailed, well, I would say hit the nail on the head, but probably hit the Keir Starmer hole on the head, if you know what I mean. How do you find out what you're looking, or how do you find out you're good at this? What's the conversation look like? Seriously, this is men's luge doubles. Literally. A dude on top of another dude. Yeah, I mean, they're just like, really? I mean, was this sport necessary? Really? They had the two-man luges, the little bobsleds, right? You didn't need to do the gay version of this, I don't think. You know, it is what it is. Like I said, how did that conversation go? Hey, I got an idea. I bet you'd be really good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay on my back. Yeah, no, naked's important. Yeah, and then I just want you to lay on top of me. No, not front ways, back ways. Put your buttocks right there next to that thing. Not sure how that happens. Now, my boy Jordan, I like Jordan a lot, and I'm gonna give Jordan a pass on this. And I probably know this because I suck at spelling. I probably know this because I worked in radio for a long time. Jordan apparently does not know this. And I feel bad, so I'm not going to beat him up too hard. But this is one of those moments where you get people that just want to see Q everywhere, the letter Q, number 17. It's, oh, he did this and this was an accident. Trump did this on purpose. No, he didn't. You guys just don't know words. That's the problem. Anyways, so the United States scored a goal, I guess, our first USA goal for the men's team. I think the women's team is actually doing rather well. They beat Canada. But White House posted Q Freebird, which would mean get the song ready, get it loaded up, and hit pause, basically. Get it queued up. That's queuing something. I used to do it in radio all the time. You queue up the music before you go, okay? Before the song's ready to play, you'd have it queued up, and then all you had to do is hit the button, it'd fire the elemental, and bam, music's playing. It's queued. Now, Jordan's moment of retardation, he says, I find this curious. Wrong word. Should have been Q, C-U-E, Freebird. But the White House account wrote Q, Q-U-E-U-E. The one with the Q. That sounds like Q. Jordan, my man, dude, you should have looked up both words. That's all I can say. If you would have looked up both words, you would have realized you just didn't know that this is the proper spelling. Q-U-E-U-E is queuing up music. And it used to always bother me because it seems like so many extra letters. Again, like a British word, right? Like Q-U-E, you feel like should have been enough, but that's too close to K, right? Or que, or whatever. So they're like, nah, we got to add another U-E at the end of it. So that's Q. Okay. That means to cue music. We'll put this one first. So Q, Q-U-E-U-E. 1, a line of waiting people or vehicles. 2, a long braid of hair worn hanging down the back and the neck of a pigtail. A sequence of stored data on programs awaiting processing. Cue up music, same thing. C-U-E, well, that's a different word altogether. Now, C-U-E represents a cue, an example. If I'm in theater and I've got somebody on stage that's going to be doing a scene, and I'm like, when should I come out on stage? The director will say, at one point, the actor will raise his pen in the air and he'll say, to this and other things. And that'll be your cue to come on stage. CUE. Two different words mean two totally different things, spelled totally differently, and this is the proper spelling. He was not going cue post. He was saying cue the song Freebird, and he spelled it properly. Don't see things that aren't there. Anyway, sorry I spent so long on it, but it's just, I love Jordan, and it bugs me. Sorry, bud. Sorry, Jordo, for some reason, if you've seen this.
The world is changing very fast right in front of us. The old world is gone, frankly, the world I grew up in, and we live in a new era of geopolitics, and it's going to require all of us to sort of re-examine what that looks like and what our role is going to be. And we've had many of these conversations in private with many of our allies. They are our allies. And we need to continue to have those conversations. And I think Saturday, hopefully, in the meeting, we'll have there when Lucas and them.
We are moving into a new world. And again, I probably should have queued that up better, but needless to say, I think I wasted enough time. Democrats launch probe into the organization leading the White House efforts to celebrate nation's 250th birthday. Literally, the Democrats are having a problem with the fact that Trump is trying to make this amazing. He's brought in an additional group to work with the original group that was picked 10 years ago. Now, the reason Trump's doing this, of course, is the group that was picked 10 years ago is probably full of a bunch of deep state thugs that were going to do something gay for the 250th anniversary. And Trump's like, there's no way you're going to sabotage this. So here's what's going to happen. My group's going to be in there with your group, and my group's going to let me know what your stupid group's doing. And if you guys try to do anything stupid, we're going to put a stop to it. So, of course, the Democrats, Chris Van Hollen, Adam Schiff, Elizabeth Warren, Richard Blumenthal, Cory Booker, Dick Durbin, Gary Peters, they all wrote to Susan Wiles saying, hey, this isn't fair. This isn't right. We want to know more about this. Of course, because they were planning on sabotaging our July 4th for our 250th year. Now, this, I wanted to play this now. We talked about this yesterday, the two ships that collided. And, this dude's, that's sailing the Arleigh Burke. Whoever's in charge of that, whoever's in command of that ship, he will lose his, he will be demoted or step down. He will lose the captaining. What do they call it when you lose your ship, basically? They're going to take his ship away from him. Dude's not going to be piloting anything anytime soon. He probably won't even be allowed to do a fishing boat. This was 100%, it looks like, pilot error. And, this is bad. Now, this is the actual crash. I mean, it's kind of crazy. All right, after a lot of pain, this is the one we're going to go ahead and use. I fucking lost the good one, and it didn't have volume, which was stupid, because when you hear it crash, it's kind of a trip. So anyway, whatever. I'll edit out most of the stupidity of myself on this. I probably deserve that for picking on Jordan. Yeah, that's pretty dang bad, though. So they totally slammed into each other. This slammed into them. Not good. So the Arleigh Burke seems to be at fault. Not sure exactly what happened, but yeah, not good. There was a Marine who fell overboard on the USS Iwo Jima. It's one of the craft that were in. In fact, this is the craft where Maduro actually landed on when they brought him back. This was over in the Caribbean area with the Reagan battle group. Apparently, a Marine fell overboard. They spent 3 days looking for this dude, and they never found him. So he's been pronounced dead, lost at sea at least. It's I don't know how he fell over. But yeah, he fell over. Lance Corporal Ofora. Yeah, weird. Just weird. Like, I would assume, I mean, I guess from the top, it's probably not too terribly hard to fall over, but there is like netting around it. I would assume it would be hard to do, but I don't know. Been on a carrier. There's one in San Diego. It's like an old, I think it was made in the 50s. Pretty cool carrier. It's fun to walk around on. Tim Walsh says Americans should compensate Minnesota companies that hired illegal migrants. They arrested 4,000 people. They took 4,000 people out of the state. And Tim Walsh is like, this is going to destroy our economy. Probably because he took some of the worst people, some of the biggest criminals, probably some of the biggest corruption agents within your state. He's freaking out. But I do think it's funny. It's 4,000 people. The population of Minnesota is 5.7 million. And apparently 4,000 is going to break the state. So is that one more example of how it's mismanaged? Feels like it. Senator Josh Hawley goes off on, who is this? The AG. AG's a dick, and this doesn't really accomplish a whole lot playing this, other than it made me a little happier with Hawley, even though I'm kind of on the fence with him. He's pissed me off in a number of votes, but there's a lot of times where he's like, all right, I kind of like what you're doing, so whatever. I don't know how to feel about this guy anymore, but I don't know how to feel about any of the senators, frankly. But here's Hawley just turning the screws on this son of a gun.
Mr. Ellison, let me start with you. You're the Attorney General of the state of Minnesota. Do I have that correct? That's a yes?
Sir, you're aware of my job. You know the answer to that.
You're not going to answer my questions? Are we going to start this way? Are you the Attorney General of the state of Minnesota, yes or no?
You know the answer.
Mr. Ellison, you're in my courtroom now. You're under oath. So I suggest that you answer my questions. You the Chief Law Enforcement Officer of the state of Minnesota, yes or no? Let's try another question. Are you familiar with the $9 billion in historic fraud out of your state, including the $250 million in the Feeding Our Future program alone? You familiar with that? Don't turn to the pages in your book to get your potted answers. Are you familiar with it? Yes or no?
Yes, I am familiar with it.
Very familiar, aren't you? Because the people who ran the Feeding Our Futures program came to you in your official office in the state capitol December 11th, 2021, and asked for your help in getting investigators off their backs. They complained to you for upwards of an hour about state investigators going after them, and they begged you to help them, and you agreed to it, amazingly. And we know you did.
That's not
because
true.
It's all caught on tape.
Yeah,
Every single sentence is caught on tape. Here's what you said. Let's take a look.
Obviously, you didn't
You
listen
said,
to the
it's not a
tape.
question. You said to them, send me the names of all these folks who are investigating them. You said to them, send me their names. And I'll take that list and I'll call the person over at Education who was investigating them and say, what's going on? Why am I getting these complaints? Then he went on to say, I already have my team working on this. What day should we get together to discuss it again? You made pledge after pledge to them. You said, we've got to make sure this guy who's investigating them stops it. You said, you have my attention. I'm concerned about this. You said, let's go fight these people, meaning the people who were investigating the fraud. Why'd you do it? Why'd you help them?
Are you going to let me answer?
Please, we're all ears.
So first of all, you're cherry picking quotes out of there.
Why did you help them?
I thought you were going to let me answer.
Why did you
Are you
help
going to let
them?
me answer?
Why did you help
You
them?
let me answer and I'll answer you.
Tell the truth and I'll let you answer.
I will tell the truth.
Good.
Let's do that.
That'd be a nice change. Why'd you help them?
Now see, Mr. Chairman, I didn't come here to be insulted. I came here voluntarily.
You came here for the truth. Let's have it. Why did you help them? The quotes are here. They're in black and white, and every member of this audience can listen to the recording. It's 54 minutes long. It's all in public. You can Google it right now and listen to it.
And listen to it all.
Why'd you help them?
First of all, I didn't help them.
You did help them.
No, I did not. I certainly didn't.
You're saying you didn't do anything for them. You didn't.
Well, wait a minute.
I already have my team working on this again. That's not you?
I have
ventriloquist?
my team assisted with the information that led to the prosecution and conviction of these people.
No, you didn't. You didn't lift a finger to prosecute them. No, you did not. You
No,
didn't
because
lift a
it
finger to
was a
prosecute
federal
them. You had,
prosecution.
BS. You had whistleblowers come to you as early as 2019.
You're the one talking BS.
Hey, listen, it's my time.
Doesn't know what you're talking about, sir.
No, sir. You now have encountered the truth and you don't like it. Why'd you take their money? Why'd you take their money?
I didn't.
You took
No, that's a false statement. No,
$10,000.
that's a false statement. That is a false
$10,000
statement.
9 days after the meeting.
False statement.
You took $10,000. Here's what
Untrue.
happened. They went to your office.
That's a
They
false
solicited
statement.
money from
They
you.
did
They
not come to
solicited
my
help
office.
from you.
That's also wrong.
They came to your office.
No,
It
they
was your
didn't.
official office. You
No, they
met with them
didn't.
for 54 minutes.
No, they didn't.
asked you for help. You pledged it to them, and they talked repeatedly about money. In fact, it's all they talked
That's
about.
a lie.
Money, 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 money. They
True.
said, we
Untrue.
will put our dollars in the right place. We will support candidates that will fight to protect our interests. You replied, that's right. They said, if you are
that is
securing
not
your
true.
donor base and securing your power base, you can act the way you want. You replied, money is freedom. They said the amount of money circulating, I'm reading the transcript, the amount of money circulating in our community
misreading the
today is
transcript.
powerful, and we haven't realizing it in a meaningful way. And you said, give me the specifics. And 9 days later, you took $10,000
That's a lie.
from people who were then indicted. It's in your reports. Why'd you do it?
Sir,
Was it worth it?
You know what? This is a theatrical performance.
10,000. This is the truth.
It
This is
has
what
nothing to
accountability
do-
looks like, of which you've had none.
No, the
you
fact-
helped fraudsters defraud your
Lie.
state and this government of $9 billion, and
Sir,
you got a
this is-
fat campaign contribution out of
This is
it.
completely
You ought to be indicted.
untrue. Well,
That's the truth.
I think we've made the point. Let's keep the tenor
Well,
just
for
a
the
little more
record,
calm.
Oh, I'll ask how I want
He's
to, Senator
lying,
Paul.
and that's the truth.
Oh, no, this is all on the record,
no, sir.
Did you bother
You are-
to... Did you bother to investigate where the money that you facilitated their fraud for, where it went? Do you know where it went, what it was used for, the fraudulent money? I do, because we just heard testimony about it yesterday.
Because we
the
were
funds
key
went
players
to
in the
hundreds of millions of
investigation.
dollars to terrorist
Yes, we
groups,
do
to
know.
transnational criminal organizations, to the drug trade, to drug trafficking, to child trafficking. And you took $10,000
That's a lie.
and helped them do it. You know, the other thing is,
untrue statement.
whistleblowers came to you as early as 2019. Let's look. As early as 2019,
this is a-
whistleblower. Don't talk over me.
No,
as
no,
early
you're
as
talking over me.
2019, it's my hearing, pal. As early as
I'm not your pal.
2019,
Don't call me pal.
whistleblowers came to. Well, I should call you prisoner because you ought to be in jail.
Well, we'll see what you can do
In
about it.
2019, whistleblowers came to you in your office and referred to you fraud allegations from Feeding Our Futures, and you blew them off. Listen, your own state newspaper
That's a lie.
investigated it. The Minnesota Star Tribune, the Partners in Nutrition, brought its concerns to the Attorney General's office in 2018 and in 2019, and you did nothing. You did nothing for years. The only action you took is,
False statement.
once all these fraudsters came to your office
It is a
and asked you to get
false
involved
statement.
and offered you money,
Did not come to
then
my
you got
office.
involved.
They
Then
did
you
not-
took the money,
they
and then
did-
you got involved.
They did not come to my office. You're completely wrong about
You
that.
met with them
I did
for
not take anybody's
54
money.
minutes, and you took $10,000, and they also gave your family money. They gave your family thousands of dollars in campaign contributions in addition to what they gave
a false
you.
statement.
Let's put the
This is, you know, this is completely untrue.
The New York Post.
Yeah, we know the New York Post.
Minnesota Keith Ellison, AG, accepted campaign donations from individuals linked to the $250 million COVID fraud scheme after they were in your office.
Not-
The donations came on December 20th.
Sir,
you
this
met
is
with them
not-
on December the 11th, and on January 20th, the FBI knocked over their headquarters.
No.
That's the sequence of events here.
No, it's not.
You've
the
been
sequence
right
of
at the
events.
center of this fraud
not
thing
the
from the
sequence of
beginning,
events.
and
It's
you've
untrue.
enabled it. And sir,
The false
you
statement-
should resign.
And sir, you should
should
resign. I was
resign.
thinking the same thing about you.
Should resign.
Now, he was on record, and if any of the statements that he said no to, I mean, that would be lying. So I don't know. Personally, I think that was a circus, unquestionably, which I think Congress is in general. I certainly think the Senate. I have my approval rating of the House is significantly higher than the Senate, and my approval rating of the House sucks. So all I can say is this was a bunch of nonsense, but it's the same thing the Dems do to us. Anytime we have somebody up on the stand that's from our administration, they did the same thing. Just stupid grandstanding. But still, I mean, they're grabbing newspaper articles as evidence. But nonetheless, it was still fun to watch, I thought. This is also fun. People are, again, the Democrats are destructing. I think a few things too, and we're also seeing how Congress is ineffective. There's a lot of things that we have to understand as a population. If we don't understand the problem, we will never fix it. A lot of people are like, just arrest Epstein. It's like, okay, you guys don't understand the problem. The thing that created Epstein is what needs to be destroyed. And then, yeah, a whole bunch of people are going to get arrested. But you just take down Epstein, You'd be doing the deep state a favor. They'd be like, oh, we got this covered. Everybody'd think everything's fixed. And then 4 seconds later, we'd be right back where we are, only worse. Comer's calling out Ilhan Omar, and I think it's pretty freaking awesome because she's moments away from probably total crazy chaos. I do think she'll be the first Congress member deported. I really do.
This is a simple question. It shouldn't take long to answer. Reporters are trying to ask her the questions, and she just walks by and won't answer questions. But she finds enough time to tweet something absurd like that and compare her beloved Somalia to the United States like it's a superior country. If she likes Somalia so much, she should go back to Somalia. And I can tell you, with what we're investigating in Minnesota and the depositions and transcribed interviews that we're getting right now as we speak with the whistleblowers in the Minnesota state employees union that have been dealing with these social programs, it's really bad, the amount of Somali fraud in all the different welfare programs. So Ilhan Omar really needs to keep her mouth shut.
Yeah, she needs to majorly keep her mouth shut, in fact. And we'll see if she's ever able to accomplish that. Because I think it's ultimately impossible for them. And they're going to continue to walk themselves into a trap. They're projecting always. And then on top of that, they're desperately trying to cover up what's becoming obvious. They're going to say, no, I didn't, no, I didn't, no, I didn't. And then they're going to be like, all right, well, here's 5 examples, 3 different camera angles of you doing it. I didn't do it. But it's on camera. Here it is. Yeah, that's not me. It's you. It's verified. We saw your badge get used to walk in. That's not me. Again, like, they've got nothing else. They're never going to admit it. Ever. Health Secretary Bobby Kennedy, he's revealing they found $100 billion of fraud each year.
Cases are what we get between Medicaid and Medicare. There's about $100 billion stolen every year. And a lot of it is like what's happening in Minnesota with the Somali community and what's happening now, even worse in California. But, you know, one of the problems is that's a systemic problem is that Medicaid and Medicare now no longer, it used to be that they paid for your medical treatment, your doctor's visit, but now they pay for the person who takes you to the doctor, and they pay for home care, and they pay for a person to come in and pay your bills, right? So there's all kinds of opportunities for fraud. And a doctor recently, Oz told me this, told Oz, he said that there was a doctor in California that he visited, and the doctor had a patient who was a heroin addict. Heroin addict was coming to see him 4 times a month for some kind of a treatment. And one day the doctor looked out the door and saw his ex-wife waiting for him in the car. And the doctor said, "Oh, are you back together with your ex-wife?" And he said, "No, I hate her guts." And he said, "But she drives me because she gets paid $600 every time she drives me."
Wow.
And he said,
That'll put you back together with your ex.
We make $3,000 a month, with her driving me this, and then I drive her to hers.
Wow.
And so there's all kinds of those opportunities for fraud. And, we found a hotel that had literally every room in it was the headquarters for a nursing group.
The size of it has to be shown to us before we really fix it. I mean, again, they're cutting at stuff, but then we see it getting attacked by the Democrats, by the judges every step of the way. And then as we're doing that, which is awesome because it's keeping them all busy. Again, I don't know how many cases. I need to look it up. How many cases a federal judge can have. What the hell? So anyway, I pulled it up real quick, and I had to ask Grok because I just didn't feel like trying to look this up. But there's no strict legal maximum or fixed limit on the number of open pending cases a federal judge can have at one time. Federal judges, particularly U.S. district judges, the primary trial level judges, are assigned cases by their court, and the numbers of pending cases varies widely based on factors like the district's caseloads, the types of cases, civil versus criminal, blah, blah, blah. So let's see. U.S. federal judiciary does not impose a hard cap, though statute, the code of conduct for the United States judges, or other rules. Instead, caseloads are managed administratively. So it will be interesting to see. Apparently, they could load up one judge, and then, but that could slow things down, in which case they could they could, I guess that would give them legal precedence to try to get another judge. So we're finding out who all the bad judges are, essentially. And they're just going to continue to cycle through. We're literally going to learn, like Boasberg. Everybody knows Boasberg's name. Like, we're going to learn their names. We'll have their names memorized. We'll probably know them better than we know our stupid politicians. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun as we progress through the nonsense that we are currently living through. It's fantastic. The Senate, they blocked the DHS bill. That's the shutdown looms. Now, I love it because Fetterman voted with the Republicans. I'm sure Rand Paul didn't. I don't know what the final vote. They were 8 votes short, so it's 52-47. So obviously a couple or 3. Thune changed his vote at the end, and that was so he could pull the vote back up or something. Oh, by the way, happy Friday the 13th, guys. I forgot to mention that. Got so wrapped up and everything. But yeah, John Thune switched his vote. I was just trying to see if I could find the names. I mean, it's probably the same ones we'd expect it to be. But all said, whatever. We got a mess. We got a mess of senators that we need to get rid of, too. Yeah, and they're trying to push for the standing filibuster for the SAVE Act. Like, and again, this is going to be the thing. Like, this will stall on the floor probably. And so, I don't know, this is going to be partially why Trump's going to be able to use an executive order. It's like we've tried to get it through Congress. It's impossible. Here's the thing. Classified information, we're going to release a bunch of it. We're doing it now. Here's what we know for sure. This is what happened, then this is... And they're going to spell it all out. And they're going to say so many other countries have access to these machines. Here's the fun part, though. The second we do it, no country in the world will really be able to get away with using the machines again. They've got to do everything perfectly. So every time you're watching the movie and you critique or criticize the way the movie's playing out, understand the movie knows better than you. So there's something you're not getting or something I'm not getting. If I'm angry about how something's playing out, there's something I'm not understanding. That's what we kind of need to know. We're not so much steering this as we are kind of helping others realize what's actually happening. This ship's already going. We're already in progress. The world already doesn't look like it did, and it's never going to look like it used to 10 years ago, ever. We are heading into a new age. We are in a giant fog of crazy right now. And at some point, we'll get through the fog. And what we see on the other side will blow your minds. I've actually seen pictures. It's gorgeous. We're going to do this, guys. But it requires us all to understand that we're on a journey, period. And there's no fault. There's nothing wrong. This is God's journey, you know? It really is kind of like the Exodus to a large extent. And so manna is being provided to us from the heavens, if you will. And we must learn to appreciate the delicious manna. The Department of Homeland Security is going to shut down tomorrow. The discussion here now, I'd love to see, no one's come out officially and said this yet, but I believe ICE is paid for. We've heard it. It stayed really quiet. I think it stayed really quiet for a reason. I think they're waiting for the shutdown to actually go into effect, and then Congress is going to close down for 8-9 days. And then I think something's going to come out that's going to basically say, yeah, but ICE got funded in the big, beautiful bill. This was totally different funding. You guys literally just shut down TSA, Coast Guard, our cybersecurity. This guy's going to tell us. You guys, it's like ICE is going to still be open, I think. So the thing that they were claiming they shut the government down for, they were too fucking stupid to even realize that they weren't accomplishing what they thought they were accomplishing. And instead shut down our security. That was just gorgeous how this movie's playing out. It's fantastic.
Sandra, good afternoon. There's going to be a shutdown for just the Department of Homeland Security at 12:0001 on Saturday morning. That test vote needed 60 yeas. There were 52 yeses on this. John Fetterman, the Democrat from Pennsylvania, was the only Democratic yes. And John Thune, the Republican leader in the Senate, he switched his vote to no. That gives him the ability to recall this if they were to get a deal. Just after that test vote went down, you had Katie Britt, the Republican senator from Alabama, come to the floor and try to get what they call unanimous consent, where they agree on the spot, all 100 senators, for a 2-week interim spending bill for DHS, and that was objected to by Chris Murphy, the Democrat from Connecticut. So this means that there's about 61,000 TSA employees who would not be paid during this shutdown, and also about 20,000 FEMA employees. And because Congress is expected to be out for the next 8-9 days, that means the government shutdown probably runs for at least a week or two. Now, Democrats, they just put out their legislative text a couple of days ago. You had the White House counteroffer last night. Chris Murphy said that wasn't enough time to turn it around. Katie Britt said, well, you guys should have gotten your proposal on ICE changes a couple of days early. The other factor in this, and Eric Schmidt, the Republican senator from Missouri, was very critical of some of his colleagues. There's the Munich Security Conference that many colleagues are going to fly over there right now. And he said they care more about going to Europe and criticizing American foreign policy than dealing with DHS.
Yeah, I mean, this is all theater. Now, I don't think these people are necessarily playing a part consciously. Like, I don't think they're like literally like they get a script in the morning. They're like, so you're going to do this, this, and this. You're going to seem appalled when it happens. And they're like, all right, okay, I can handle that. Right? And I'm going to start my day. I don't think so. I think these people are literally just wired this way. And this is part of the evolution and part of the experience that we're all, like, again, the eye of the needle we're going through. I don't know how best to describe it, but each one of us is going to walk through the eye of the needle as an individual. And if you don't fit, you're not making it through. And a lot of people aren't even going to know to try. And again, I so desperately want to see them come out and say that, oh, ICE is paid for. But it's been said by a few people, but not, like, I haven't seen it on, like, the networks, right? Like, I haven't, like, on Fox at least, which would, reach a huge audience. I don't mean from Fox, but all the people that would share the stupid thing. It would go all over. So anyway, here's John Fetterman. I love this dude. Freaking, I called him Lurch for so long. I mean, still, he does look like him, but dang, this guy's turned out good. Manchin's another one. I know you guys hated when I first got on crawled up his butt, but Fetterman, it's really nice up inside that place.
Having any meaningful functional impact on ICE because they have unlimited money effectively for right now, right?
Yes, sir.
So you're going to punish all of these other parts, the very important parts of our government, TSA, Coast Guard, FEMA, and cybersecurity. That's what kind of a statement if we announce to our enemies, like, well, our cybersecurity agency, now we're going to be shut down. If I really want to make having any meaningful functional impact on ICE because they have unlimited money effectively for right now, right?
Yes, sir.
So you're going to punish all of these other parts, the very important parts of our government, TSA, Coast Guard, FEMA, and cybersecurity. That's what kind of a statement if we announce to our enemies, like, well, our cybersecurity agency, now we're going to be shut down. If I really want to make a move, that probably makes it better. And then, so is that a accurate statement?
It's a fair assessment, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So now here I am. Here I am, a Democrat, and I think I ran the whole gamut. I met with Secretary Noem, and I've always treated.
He gets off on a tangent that doesn't really end anyway. It's not. Yeah. Anyway, it's stupid. It was a way to call Kristi Noem a name without calling her a name. Now, he does say that ICE basically has unlimited funding, right? Anyway, so I guess this is as close as we're getting to that answer that I've been wanting. Maybe. So again, the budget is probably because it was in the big, beautiful bill. Nobody seems to know that. And I think, again, they're keeping it quiet because once the government, and I guess the government shutdown's pretty much for sure because the vote's already failed. Once that goes into effect, it's going to be blasted everywhere that ICE is still paid for. Can you imagine? I mean, and I don't know if they're intentionally sacrificing Schumer for this because he's the one that's leading the pitchfork crusade. It's just so hard to say. It's beautiful. It's freaking beautiful. DOJ sues Harvard for withholding records on race and admissions. Another stupid lawsuit. We'll see what happens. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin, he just called it out straight and talking about climate regulation, climate. Al Gore's thing, right? Let's call it that. I'll let him say it because he's Lee Zeldin, and that way YouTube can't get mad at me.
You believe that the talk of climate change is a hoax?
When you're putting forth tens of billions of dollars to pay off your well-connected former Obama and Biden admin officials and Democratic donors, wasting taxpayer dollars, yeah, that's a problem. Trillions of dollars of regulation and costs on American families, that's a big problem. It has been a con job of using this for more power and control. For example, they push environmental justice. They appropriate $1, and rather than remediating an environmental issue with it, they want to spend $1 on an activist group to train other activists to come be activists and advocate in D.C. to get more money so that they could advocate. You try to wrap your head around the way the money's wasted.
These waters run deep. That's what I take from all this. Sir, thank you. You believe.
Yeah, and again, they're not saying anything about the climate portion of it, but specifically about how worthless the money spent is. They're literally spending money to get activists, to get more money, to get more activists so they can just continue. And again, the overhead on these companies, the money they're allowed to keep for administrative costs are extraordinary. 50% or higher in many cases. Way higher in some cases. This is the problem. Kind of like the American Cancer Association or whatever it was. They still haven't cured cancer, have they? How much money have they gotten over the years? Interesting. Does the world make more sense now? It's always been like this. It's just gotten huge because there's a lot of us, and we've got an insane amount of money, and we've blown our deficit up by enormous amounts. And now you got people that are constantly trying to get more and more and more year after year, and so you see the deficit was exploding. People were getting rich. They were taking theirs, getting theirs, and then fleeing the ship and living a wonderful life on every single one of us. The fleecing of America, they've been calling it for eons. House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan's working on the sanctuary city crackdown legislation. We'll see. I mean, again, it's going to get through the House. It'll never pass the Senate, ever. Well, I don't know. That might not be budgetary. If it's not budgetary, I believe it just needs a 50-50. So I don't know. We'll see. Depends how they write it. If they write it good and smart in the House, and hopefully he's working with Thune or somebody over there, maybe. That's usually why they got co-sponsors. So they're just like, we're never going to get this through the Senate if we don't do it this way. And be like, all right, we can do that. So, yeah, we'll see. Again, Seattle is, it's falling down hard right now. Falling down hard. It is in free fall. Los Angeles is in free fall. New York City is in free fall. Obviously, Minneapolis, Chicago, free fall. Now, what always happens when cities go bankrupt is they have problems. But the thing is Trump's pulled out of everywhere. For a reason, because they're wanting to create problems and they can't without us being in there. But these people are still running around with nothing to do. Trouble will find trouble. We'll see. Something's going to pop up that's going to piss them off. We'll watch and we'll get them fired up, and they're going to burn their own cities. They're going to burn the bad cities. And then the bad cities are going to be like, we want money. And you'd be like, all you had to do was ask for help. You never asked for help. You literally are supposed to police your own stuff, and you won't. You've got all these criminals running around. We tried to get them out. You wouldn't let us. No, we're not giving you money. Or at least we'll control how it's spent. We're not giving the state money. What do you need to pay for? We'll write a check for that. In fact, we'll get a company. We'll get involved. We'll audit it. These people are screwed. Illegal immigration rams law enforcement. ICE shoots out his tires. Can't wait till they start rioting for that. You shouldn't. You know how much tires cost? Freaking stupid people. They don't show the crash, so it's kind of a lame-ass video. But they shot the tires and caught the guy, and life is good. Here's a woman literally lighting a building on fire that the DEA was going to rent, hadn't signed the paperwork to do so yet, but she had heard that it's a DHS building. So she decided to catch it on fire. No mention if she was caught. It doesn't seem that she was. I assume they have to know who she is. I mean, she did not even try to cover herself. She's obviously not intelligent, and her name's probably Karen. And it's probably actually Karen. I mean, just not just happenstance. Happenstance to be Karen, I guess. Anyway. The whole time I was watching the video, and it was really sad. I was like, oh, maybe she'll get some on herself, and that would be funny almost. Anyway. I mean, Darwin Awards are fun to watch, man. Whenever they're brutal, but you're like, yeah, these are people that aren't going to have children at least anymore. National Guard withdraws from several Dem-run crime hubs, like I told you. They're leaving all the cities, Los Angeles, I think Chicago, all of them, Minneapolis. Remember, Homan just said, yeah, we're pulling out, we're good. Something's going to happen in the near-term future. Trump is going to do an executive order that's going to piss everybody off. Where are they going to riot? Not going to get away with D.C. Trump controls D.C. Where else are they going to riot? Right. Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, Minneapolis, Portland, Seattle, San Francisco. You get the picture, right? Probably Houston. Where else? We got some other cities. Miami, maybe? I don't know. I don't think Florida's going to allow it. Texas will. I think Texas will let Houston burn a little. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I don't think the Texan people would. I'm wondering what Hot Wheels will do. But I don't think Paxton would approve of that kind of shit. But that's not his call. It's National Guard. Anyways, however it plays out, it's going to be very interesting. But something is afoot. I should do this right now because I keep forgetting. I know it's better when I don't do commercials, but I've got to pay the bills, folks. All that said, there it is. Healthy Home, awesome products, love them. And I should probably be on camera. That always helps too. I just want to remind you guys, stem cells are what heal your body. Stem Active, it's a plant-based. There's no actual stem cells in here, but it helps your body produce more stem cells, 25 to 40%. And as we age, you produce less stem cells, and they're your healing cells, really. They're cells that can become any cell in the body. A lot of times these specific cells are born as cells, but these actually can go and repair and heal. So muscles, joints, hearts, lungs, anything. Doesn't matter. They can be all those things. Stem cells. Stem Active helps your body do it. They've got a gel. They got a pill. They also have it for pets, by the way. And again, pets that are getting older, that are injured a little bit, maybe have arthritis and stuff. This just kind of helps with some of that too. I mean, you can get them collagen and stuff like that, but now you're really getting a little poo-pooey with your animal. The stem cells are a great way to really help those animals, especially if they get a surgery or something too, because it helps with the healing process. Balance is another one that people freaking love. I don't have any other place anywhere that can do this. This product, I have a number of ladies that have talked to me about this product, and they're like, no, this is the bomb. It works. They talk about how many clicks are you on? And it's like the pump, and I guess it clicks when you pump it. So a lot of people are 1, 2, or 3. It's a lotion, it's a cream, and you rub it on your wrist like that. That's how easy it is to use. What it is hormone support for the transition into baby making or out of baby making. That whole part of a woman's life. Into is brutal, out of brutal. Typically, this is for women coming out of, but they've actually found a lot of girls, younger women that are going into, and they're all sorts of crazy. This is actually helping too. You got a younger one that's all hormone crazed, and she's like even too hard to handle. And you might want to suggest trying this for them. You'd be surprised. But for people that are on synthetic hormones or not on synthetic hormones, both have used it and used it with the synthetic hormones. So whatever you're doing, if it's not totally working, give Balance a try. It will literally get your temperature stuff under control. Your moods are going to be a lot better. You're going to be able to get along with people better because you're not going to be freaking out. You're going to be able to sleep. It's literally going to bring some balance and probably even peace to your life and your relationships. Balance, check it out. It's amazing. And another thing that's amazing, I just took mine just while one of the videos was on, the one with Howley talking. I drank my little Amaze. Loss of collagen, man, this helps with the hair big time. For guys, dude, Nails too. For me, it's a side effect. I don't exactly like my nails growing a lot. It's kind of annoying. It's like, God, did I just freaking cut them? Like, it happens. But it helps with joints. It helps with that kind of stuff. And for me, I like that for the working out. It helps a lot. And Amaze is great. It's yummy tasting. It's peptide, so it's very small molecules, but it's not a powder that you got to mix into something. It's already liquid. Those powders you got to be careful with. If it's a cheaper product, it actually creates like a coating in people's stomachs, and almost like a paper mache. And it actually causes problems. So be careful which collagen supplements. Amaze is probably one of the best, if not the best, I think. But it's amazing, and it is a liquid, and it tastes delicious, and it is a collagen peptide. It's fantastic, and it's like the sea kelp and all that weird crap. The ingredients, you can look at the information if you want to, but it helps with hair, discomfort, joint discomfort, and all that stuff. So check it out. And Prime's just extra energy. Some people notice it, some don't. I think it depends kind of how your life is. I'm pretty active, and every once in a while I'm slightly more active. It's a nitric oxide booster. It just gets more oxygen into your blood, and what that does is it gives you more energy to a degree. You don't feel like it's not anything like caffeine or anything like that where you sort of feel it when it kicks in. Like, you don't feel it ever. You just notice it when you're doing stuff, and you're like, yeah, I'd normally be more tired. You can be at the gym, and you're like, yeah, normally I'm not able to do this third set with the same weight or be able to, so it's just one of those things where you'll notice it when normally you wouldn't have the energy you're having. You're actually more endurance, if you will, is kind of what I think is a good way to look at it. And again, it's just extra oxygen. It's the most important thing that happens in your body. All that said, go to danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. It's danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. And again, just great products, and it'll keep you healthy. And small catalog too, by the way. When you join, you can join as an executive member, by the way. And you just have to buy a little package. Not that there's a lot of choices. You don't have to spend a lot of money. But it gets you like free shipping and stuff like. There's a whole lot of cool things that start to happen when you're a member, and you also get a link and you can sell it yourself. All that said, danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. You can just join as a customer too, and that's fine. You pay shipping, you pay a slightly higher price, but you pay the normal price basically. You get paid a discounted price if you're a member. danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. Check it out and make healthy choices. Make your life a lot better and happier and healthier and wealthier and all that stuff. All right. Extraordinary emails reveal Karen Bass seized control of the Palisades fire messaging. I don't want to just break it all down, but she was right in the middle of it all. She took control of it. She removed 22 pages from the after-action reports. She took out anything that said wind. She took out all the damning edits involving language acknowledging insufficient resources. Like, she removed all the stuff that the LA fire department person they fired, took a lot of that information out. So she completely edited the report that was supposed to be telling us what happened of all the things that would make her at fault. This guy's got some interesting stuff to say about how she's probably going to have a similar situation as what's going on in Minnesota.
We just had Roger Bailey on a few minutes ago, and Roger is the lead attorney for the Palisades homeowners, thousands of them filing lawsuits against the city of Los Angeles, including the DWP, the state of California. In fact, the city of L.A. is suing the state of California because they want the state of California to pay a lot of the damages. And it really, the central part of the case is the notorious flare-up of the January 1st Lockman fire that was abandoned by the L.A. Fire Department. It looks like the state employees from Parks and Rec chased the L.A. Fire Department off the hotspot, and the hotspot was never entirely put out. It was smoldering. It was burning underground. It really was hot. And the state and the city screwed up horribly. If they had attended to that fire, or if they had put crews up there the morning of January 7th, none of this would have happened. And as Roger Bailey said, and it is driving me crazy because he's been on twice now telling about the depositions of firefighters and other personnel, and he has done 12 of them. And the last one he said was especially jaw-dropping. And he wants to share it, but he can't because Karen Bass got it declared confidential. Her goon attorneys went to court and asked the judge to seal it up, at least for a time. It's supposed to be only 30 days. That's the normal protocol. So we'll see. I mean, because, again, she's running for re-election, and she's trying to keep the headlines generic.
She's running for re-election, and she's trying to cheat. She's cheating the LA people. Karen Taylor Robson suspended her Arizona governor campaign. She's hoping this will make it easier for Rep. Andy Biggs on his governor's run. There's still a couple GOP or one other GOP person on the ticket. They'll fall off soon. If not, we'll probably destroy them. So this is going to help Biggs get all the way up there, which is awesome. And probably strong chance that we could easily turn governor red in Arizona, which is a good start because it keeps a lot of crazy stuff from happening, even though they've taken over other parts of the state. If we fix voting, which the governor would have a lot to say about, we could do a lot. So think about it. We're in a fight, guys. We got 3 more years to go. 3 more years to go. Christy Nome, John Solomon's reporting there will be, another Georgia event. I don't think it's come out yet. I don't know. Maybe while I'm recording it is. It's going to bum me out, or it might happen a little later in the day. But he's talking about what sounds like something that's going to happen today in Arizona. Something like Georgia style, though, right?
I've been telling you all week, keep an eye on Arizona. Keep an eye on Arizona. I think there's a Georgia-like event in Arizona, like what happened in Fulton County. I think tomorrow is a likely day. So I just want to put that on your calendar. Keep an eye tomorrow. I see Homeland Security Secretary Christy Nome going down there. Now, why is that important? The Homeland Security Department oversees the election machines and election counting capabilities. CISA and the Homeland Security Department deal with that. The FBI Justice Department deal with criminal violations. So she's down there for a reason, and I think my reporting suggests that there will be some sort of important election integrity event tomorrow, Maricopa County in Arizona. That'll be the second state after Georgia to have that sort of treatment. So put it on your calendar, get it ready, and we'll have you covered here at Real America's Voice and justthenews.com. I've been telling
it just hit me what they're doing. We'll see, but let me throw this crazy thought out to you. What if they know all along that ICE is funded and they don't really care about that as much as the fact that they don't want CISA, which is part of DHS, and funding might have just gotten shut off for that. They don't want them investigating any of the elections, Georgia or Arizona or Pennsylvania probably. Think about that for a second, huh? I wonder if we've got a long shutdown coming down and they literally are sacrificing Schumer specifically. He's going to fall on this sword. He's had a good run. And this is their plan all along because they're not going to win this. But if they can keep the cheat through one more election, they'll take back control. They'll take back control. That's their plan. That's their play. Now, Trump, everyone knows that. They were walking them into a trap. I'm sure of it. This is going to play horribly to the people. So this will be the other hard part because this is going to also end up selling how hard they're fighting a fair election. Why? Even Democrats should be like, I don't know why we're so only citizens are supposed to vote. That's the law. Now, many won't. The progressive side won't. But many rational will. Jake Hoffman posted this. In contact with DHS last 72 hours. Stay tuned, America. The corrupt Maricopa County Board of Supervisors and their election department are in full panic. Election director seen in full day sweats today. Board of Supervisors, past and present, are corrupt to the core. I forgot about Maricopa County Board of Supervisors. I actually forgot about that portion. That will be criminal. Messing with an election is very illegal. Very, very, very illegal. Now, can we prove it? Can we actually get judges? Right? Look at the bigger problem. That's where the executive order is going to come into play. And there's no way they can do anything about it. They're like, literally, we've got cheating happening in all these states. We can't allow that. Yeah, it's up to each state. You guys have all been messing with elections. Executive order. It's the only thing we can do to have a fair election. The judges are going to have a hard time. What proof do you have? There's proof all over the damn place now. There's not going to be a thing they can do. They're walking right into it. I mean, I don't know how they don't see it, or, they're desperately turning, and they're just tugging them back, like it's interesting. Christy Nome announces the seizure of a lot of drugs. I'll play a small amount of this. We don't need to play the whole thing. It's a butt ton of drugs, though. I don't know. I know why they do this. It's like such a show, but it's just like literally if this stuff's all fentanyl, any of that powder got on you, like I would just be like, really? These things sealed up really good, right? They're double bagged? You better be.
Trafficked and poison our people. For just in this bin in front of you, you see enough lethal doses of fentanyl that would kill 10 million Americans if it were to be allowed to come into our country, be trafficked, and poison our people. For 4 dark...
I'd love it if some guy just like walked into the scene, just looks in the thing, and just shit goes flying everywhere. Oh my, funny as hell. Funny as hell. Anyway, yeah, it's the big thing of drugs. And it's good. I mean, be happy. Yay, be very happy. It's not worth the time. What do we got here? This 5 individuals, among them Mr. Don Lemon, apparently are in court today. I don't know what we know yet, but this is up to when I was recording.
There's other Minnesota headlines over those anti-ICE agitators who stormed a church in the middle of services last month. 5 people are set to be arraigned in federal court later today, including the alleged ringleaders. Brooke Taylor is there. She's in Minneapolis with more. Hi, Brooke.
Hi, Dana. Yeah, those 5 people who were federally indicted, accused of storming this church with anti-ICE agitators, are going to be arraigned this afternoon. DHS says 3 of those people were the ringleaders, accusing them of planning the riot. Now they are charged with conspiracy to deprive rights, a federal crime. One of them right here, William Kelly, was on camera saying this.
As you can see, all these pretend Christians, all these comfortable white people who are living lavish, comfortable lives while children are dragged into concentration camps.
Well, last month, agitators shouted at churchgoers there in the middle of services. Protesters targeted this church because one of the pastors works for ICE. Former CNN anchor Don Lemon, who was live streaming, is also going to be arraigned today. He said he was covering this as a journalist, but prosecutors say he knowingly joined the mob.
Yeah, that's super illegal, and the First Amendment right to have freedom of religion and the First Amendment right to protest. One doesn't have over the other. No, you can't go and mess up someone else's First Amendment right with your First Amendment right. You can't do that. It's like yelling fire in a theater kind of thing. It's like, hey, you're allowed to sort of say that, but you just messed up everyone else's life and world. So no, not cool. We got this report that's out right now claiming that the late Queen lent money to the Prince Andrew to help with the... He's going to be one of the first to run. He's going to run and find a place, non-extradition to any Western nations, right? And he's going to be like, da, ha, ha. And so what's going to end up happening, though, in the meantime, is others are going to get busted, and they're going to all flee out there, and there's going to be this huge community of pedophiles, right? It's going to be outstanding. Outstanding. Then the country that's holding them, whoever it happens to be, or it won't be Iran, who knows, it'll be some crazy country. Well, when we finally make amends with China and when we finally make amends with Russia, one of those 2 countries will have sufficient control over this country and be able to flex and force an outcome. God forbid if this country happens to be under China's thumb, because people are getting smoked and there is no jurisdiction, there is no law. There's not with them. That might be one of the final last little thank you sheet. That was very nice of you. You just rid the world of a whole bunch of people. And, trial by fire might be some sort of crazy ass, explosion. Would be weird if it was a nuke, because those are supposedly really bad for the soul. That would be really sad. I would never wish that on someone's soul. Even some of that, hopefully there's redemption somewhere after hell for a bunch of time. Here's an email from Jeffrey Epstein sending Woody Allen chairs from Wayfair as a gift. Chairs from Wayfair. Thank you for the update. No problem. We're not going to be eating outside in the backyard in November in the 50s. This is Sun Yi Previn. Those of you know, I'll pull it up in a second. She said, I checked on this order and it has not left the warehouse as of yet. It was to be delivered today. Wayfair will be calling me back with an update in 2 hours. This is Epstein's emails. Now, who is this Woon Woon, what the hell's her name? Whatever her name is. Woon Lee. There it is. It'll help me here. Or Soon Yi Preven. Anyway, it's Woody Allen's wife. She looks really young. Like Woody Allen was probably banging her when she was like 12. She's probably Thai. Is she Thai? I didn't actually look anything up about her. If she's Thai, it'll trip me out a little bit. Because that means she was like 10, probably. Look how young she looks. Look how old Woody Allen is. Just kind of let that rest for a second. I don't know if she's Asian. You can't even tell. Who knows? Whatever. That doesn't matter. It's disgusting. They're waiting for a Wayfair. Wayfair, just what I need. Isn't that their little slogan? Oh, man, it's disgusting. The way the world works, guys, it's been like this for a long time. Federal judge blocks Hegseth's censure of Senator Mark Kelly. Hegseth can't censure from a military standpoint, a federal judge is saying. This is very funny. What was the judge, by the way? Can I find it? There it is. District Judge Richard Leon. Yeah, he's the name. We've talked about it before, though. The story's not old. Well, what's adding to it, and it's getting better, now Pete Hegseth says this will be immediately appealed. Sedition is sedition, Captain, in quotes. He's calling himself a captain. He still refers to his ranks. So, yeah, he's bummed. It's just the law. It's the military's code of conduct. Federal judge has no say in this matter, and the appellate court's going to have to come to that. And if not, it'll go to the Supreme Court, and it'll be even better. Again, Trump's patient, if not anything. And when it happens, it's not going to be good. So now we got a judge, though, that's granting Mark Kelly a preliminary injunction against the Department of War in the sedition video case. So now there's a judge that's like literally letting Mark Kelly go after Hegseth. Oh, this is just, it's freaking gorgeous. You can't make this stuff up. Where's the judge's name? Oh, this is so good. It's just so good. Because, again, this is what everyone's been talking about. We're all like 100 yards ahead of everybody. There it is. Oh, it's same judge. Richard Leon, same guy. We're all 100 miles ahead on this. There's a big difference between military code and regular law. Period. End of story. Two different worlds. Military code of conduct, when people go off to Gitmo and get dealt with, there's no district judge, there's no judges here that can do a damn thing about it. I think Mark Kelly's case is going to ultimately prove that. It's going to say, no, there's a separation of powers when it comes to the legal system and the military. They have their own jurisdiction. They have their own judicial. They handle that. And that's what they're going after him for, is his military pension. Not putting him in jail, his pension. Which is, by the way, not that much. Stupid small amount of money in the big picture. So it's even funnier that we're making a big damn deal about it. But it's becoming the thing that's going to make it probably get up to the Supreme Court. California Attorney General sues U.S. Department of Education over alleged FERPA violations. Yeah, FERPA. This all has to do with them hiding the transgender stuff in California and the federal government saying, we're not going to give you funding. And they're like, nah, man, the way the FERPA law actually reads, we're in the law, we're okay. So they're just trying to sue to get the money because California's broke. Again, California, Washington State, Oregon, broke back mountains, baby. You know, I ain't quitting you. Oh, Lord, have mercy. DHS terminates temporary protected status for Yemen. The Yemenis. September 3rd. Ooh, where's this go? Temporary protected status goes into effect in 60 days. Damn. So, yeah, they said after reviewing conditions in the country and consulting with appropriate U.S. government agencies, I determined that Yemen no longer meets the law's requirements to be designated for temporary protective status. They're actually rolling back. Sweet. Allowing TPS Yemen beneficiaries to remain temporarily in the United States is contrary to our national interests. TPS was designed to be temporary, and this administration is returning TPS to its original temporary intent. We are prioritizing our national security interests in putting America first. We're basically sending them back to the future. Not quite, but that's where it's going to be. But the Department of Homeland Security may arrest and deport any Yemeni national without status once their TPS has been terminated. Looks like we've got some terrorists that are getting removed because a large number of, not all Yemenis are bad. True, but I guarantee the ones that we're definitely going to round up are definitely going to be the ones that are. That's what I'm saying. Let's see, what is this? Oh, our inflation target numbers are decent, they're saying. So inflation's maybe sort of under control, which is good. We've also got the jobs numbers have finally kind of worked into where the economy is. Like, it's a super healthy place. It's basically what they're saying. Labor demand and labor supply, basically, they're talking about. Anyway, some good stuff with the economy. Oddly, doesn't always show in the stock market, though, right? We've got good news. Everything's great. And then, it's barely up. 0.11%. Like, it should be up. It was down earlier. No, okay. This stuff just changes. It's weird, man. Up and down. NASDAQ's down. Gold's up $105. So it's back up over 5,000, which is a number that they hate. Psychological number for the bad guys. It's scary. And once we get used to that, it can easily skyrocket to 6, 7, 8. Like, 5's a big number. It's a big deal. Silver breaking 80 was a big deal. I mean, they're trying to keep it under still, and there's a lot of speculation around why that's happening. No one really knows for sure if paper contracts and everything, because I don't think we can actually see all of that when it comes to the banks and what they're doing on their little back end craziness. Again, you want to get out of the system and you want to get out quick. I'll tell you that much. It's just a matter of time. We know we're going through a huge transition, and all you're doing is protecting your buying power. If you got a bunch of money in the stock market, that money is inflating away. It probably will go up, which is good, and maybe divest some. But while the prices of gold and silver are still somewhat low, you're protecting your buying power. In the case of silver, by the way, there's a multiplier. There's many people it's 200. I mean, there's people that talk crazy ass numbers with it, but 200, 300 is definitely in play for the end of this year. So you're looking at probably tripling or more on that. And then some are saying crazy numbers. I don't know. That just depends, because I think Trump is really doing a lot that's going to help us get under control. Maybe we literally are going to somehow try to pay our debt off, which just blows my mind. I don't think we deserve to. I don't think we have to, because it's all fraud. So maybe somehow he's going to find a way to write it off. I don't know. Something weird's got to happen there. Something's going to happen, and I think as those discussions occur, it's going to scare people with the economy. Keep that all in mind. So, again, drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com, and we want to try to get ahead of that one is what we want going on here. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm trying to pull something up at the same time because I don't want to mess up the deal. I don't want to say it wrong. So this is for cash customers, by the way. The other is 401k. You can do it tax-free, penalty-free. You can get up to 10% free silver for a 401k or an IRA, and then they put you into a precious metals IRA. It's pretty awesome. But in the case of cash customers, this is a way to hook up with some gold and silver, but you can get up to 10% in free gold or silver. You get to choose. That's not like the other one. That's kind of cool. You can get gold or silver if you want. Gold's a good inflation protector. Silver, I think, has got a multiplier, so you might want to take your choices. But they're also giving free storage and a free safe. They're giving some sort of cool-ass safe. I assume it's this picture here. It'd be kind of cool to have a safe. A lot of people, right? So I assume there's a dollar amount to each. Like, you can't just come in and be like, I want $100, and then be like, I want the safe. I don't think that's going to work. So obviously there's a dollar amount. I think it's probably like 10 grand or more, but needless to say, it's a sweet deal. Check it out at least. Put in the data points. Find out what you got to do to get in there. But if you got some cash and you want to get some precious metals, and they'll send it to you, and you'll have a nice little safe to put it in. Check it out. Go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. Get out of that crazy system, for it's kind of too late, because literally we're watching inflation do its work. The price of gold is your thing. Look at the price of gold, and that's your inflation number. Just pay attention to that every day. Okay? When it's over 5,000, that's, just if it's going up, that's not necessarily good. If it's been continuing to trend up, that's inflation. Whatever they want to call it, however they want to say it, because Fed's going to say, well, inflation's like only 2.5%, and we're going to watch the price of gold continue to go up and up and up, right? Yeah. There's some lies going on, and that's going to be exposed, and that's probably a year or two down the road. All said. drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. All right, we got more crazy. This is fun. RFK Jr. discussing replacing pesticides with a tractor attachment. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I think I played the video maybe one time, but it was cool. This tractor attachment that shoots little laser beams down, it kills weeds. It's pretty awesome. Anyway, they're talking about getting rid of glyphosate.
About this glyphosate, I think it's called?
Yeah, glyphosate.
There's been a ton of lawsuits, but they still don't have to take this product off of the shelf, so that's the craziest thing to me. Is that right?
Well, it's a problem because You have all the row croppers are dependent on it right now. And there's other technology that is emerging right now that actually, I looked at one yesterday. It's a tractor attachment that uses lasers to kill weeds. And that, if they can make that affordable, particularly for smaller farmers, that will be the answer, because you'll be able to, they can kill bugs and they can kill weeds. You program this thing and it zaps the weeds with a laser. It makes all the cells explode and it destroys them. And so that, there's a future that we can now see the light at the end of the tunnel there. But right now, if you banned glyphosate outright, it would put out of business 80% of our farmers.
Got it. Wow, so we're kind of dependent upon something that we know makes us sick.
Yeah, we are. And, we're doing a lot of work in the HHS to look for other alternatives and to find find an off-ramp, because the farmers don't want to be using chemicals anyway. They're very expensive. They know, they have some of the highest cancer rates of any profession. And farmers care about their land. They want to leave it for their kids. It also destroys the microbiome in the soil, and that causes erosion. And so it's not a good long-term solution. The issue is, how do you transition off of it without putting farmers out of business?
Right.
Here's that laser.
Oh, wow, that's unbelievable. Laser weeding robot kills 100,000 weeds per hour.
Yeah, and it also kills insects. You can program it to kill, certain insects. And, that machine probably costs $1 million. So,
but if you could have a couple of those running at night through your farm, that'd be sick.
Well, yeah, it's a lot better than using chemical pesticides. So this is going to be, the future, but
we're not there yet.
We're not there yet.
And again, for a lot of people, they would look at that and go, that goes too slow. A farmer could never do that. Well, during the day, that's a good point. But at night, you could see that thing was running on its own. It was autonomous. So you literally could put that thing and have it running at night, which would probably be a good time to be zapping weeds, frankly, and bugs possibly. I don't know how you'd know which bugs are good. There's good bugs and bad bugs, right? Though I don't know. Anyways, whatever. It is a move in an interesting direction, that's for sure, and AI could certainly help with stuff like that. Another place where a farmer gets some AI and he's suddenly got tractors, roaming the field on their own. He's like, man, I used to have to do that. Now I got 3 tractors running simultaneous. I just got to make sure I can afford, gas, but I'm getting so much done now. Everybody's saying this El Paso thing. There's a story from alleged internal FBI documents, what they're saying, that these were balloons, and that some Border Patrol officials used some new laser weapon to shoot down these drones, or party balloons, sorry. And so that's what we thought were drones. So that's what they're saying. And of course, it's something that tries to make us look stupid. So I'm very, very hesitant to think there's any truth to it at all. I am reasonably sure this is a cover. I think what very well could have happened is we did shoot down a drone, and we probably weren't sure what its intentions were, and didn't realize or wondered how much worse it would be, because there was a 10-day shutdown in the area at first, a no-tar. So I think there was an initial fear, and this is now maybe a cover story. What I honestly think it is, even also, is an intentional leak to someone that they knew would tell this to the press. And so they fed them some bullshit. Yeah, we found out it was actually a balloon. So then they run off to the media, which they're not allowed to do. And that'll probably start destroying more of the leaks as well. So this doesn't feel right. And of course, I think a lot of people are going to run with this, you see how stupid they are, shot down a balloon. A lot of people are going to believe it. Even people on our side of the fence will believe it. Oh yeah, cool. I already talked about that. I knew I had it 2 places. Well, when I was putting it in the second place, I couldn't remember where the frick it was in the first place. India clears purchase of the S-400 missiles. Just basically proves that India's going into the Russian weapons environment, which in all honesty is good for Russia. Russia needs the help a lot more, so that's the big deal. We might sell stuff. It looks like Pakistan was buying some of our stuff, but I think they're actually going to be buying Chinese now, and there's no way. So we're going to, I think, let those people play that game over there, and we'll just own this pole like we've talked about, the entire Americas and maybe part of Europe. We'll see if our relationships survive. It'd be funny if in the end Russia's ultimately in charge of them, which could happen. So, NATO's allies are pledging more than $1 billion to supply Ukraine with U.S.-made weapons. So they're going to be buying a bunch of stuff, supposedly $1 billion worth of stuff. It would take us forever to get it to them. So I don't know if Europe's just planning on keeping this. I don't know what this deal is, because I don't think we've got $1 billion worth of stuff to give them right now, or would be willing to. And so I can't imagine that deal actually happening. So I just think it's a bunch of bullshit talk. And then they're going to be like, well, the U.S. says they don't have it available right now. And it's like, yeah, we got our own stuff going on, guys. We're not giving it to Ukraine. So we'll get it to you in 4 years. That's fine. Yeah, $1 billion, cool. Send that check on over. We'll get that in the queue, as they say, Q-U-E-U-E. But yeah, we'll get that in the queue. That was funny. That was an accident. I didn't mean that to happen. U.S. smuggled thousands of Starlink terminals into Iran after the riots and stuff. So yeah, they're all over the place. They were trying to hunt these down, but there was a butt ton of them. So they've probably got technology where they can fly stuff and find anything that's receiving or sending, but it's not hard to shut down stuff when people are coming. We're sending our second aircraft carrier. We're sending the one that was in the Caribbean, which I think is interesting. But it does make the most sense. It's the fastest, and I do believe we've probably only got a couple of our aircraft carriers fully retrofitted with the newest technology, or even the newer reactors. I know there's a number of newer things that they've made that they dry docked a bunch of these back. They didn't dry dock them, I don't think. Maybe they ported at least a bunch of these back during Trump's first term, and upgrades and whatnot. So that all got paid for. I think that's some of what Trump's talking about right now with his big stick. So we're sending our giant Gerald R4, the world's largest aircraft carrier, to the region. We'll have 2 carrier groups off Iran's general coast. There's a lot going on right now. Like we were talking yesterday, we're moving stuff around. This is, I don't know, kind of weird. And it bothered me that I think this young lady's attractive. First off, she's a teen, which is disgusting, and you can't tell. And then second, it's just like, she's like a ruthless murderer's daughter. Like, one must assume she's a horrible person, right? Like, she looks like she's smiling and all, oh, I want to play cake pop. Daddy, can we do a karaoke tonight? But more, in her language. And I just don't. She's the heir to North Korea. There she is, right there. She's going to be the new, I assume. Maybe she's the new softer version. I don't know. I hope. Transgender school shooter's father distances himself from the killer's son. That was not a part of his life. I didn't actually realize this dude shot his mom and his step brother, sister, something like that, before he left the house to go down to the school to shoot additional people. But yeah, this father's like, I was estranged from Jesse Strang, or Strang, I guess is probably how you say it. And he was not a part of his life. He never took his name, he was saying. Last name of the shooter's mom's always been, it's always been that. But yeah, he shot his mom before he left the house. Declined any involvement with him. Jesse did not use the family name. This guy's name is Dad. So yeah, so Jesse Van Root Salar or whatever shot and killed his 39-year-old mother and 11-year-old stepbrother at their home. It's kind of weird that they'd put it that way, because it's Jesse Strang shot and killed his 39-year-old mother and 11-year-old stepbrother at their home before traveling to the school. Wow, it's just crazy. Now, everyone, especially Canada, everybody's going to be like, we should take guns away. And it's like, if anything, maybe for the moment, and I'm a big proponent of, the Second Amendment here, but maybe people that are on SSRIs or whatever those things are called, those the drugs that they're all on, they shouldn't be allowed to own firearms. No. No. There's too many examples of that not working out well. No, we'll keep guns, just not let you have them. Now, they might get them from their parents, so whatever. But yeah, we're seeing a big thing with the SSRIs, unquestionably. We're seeing all sorts of craziness there, so scary. New astronauts launched to the International Space Station today aboard an SpaceX craft. They're expected to dock Saturday. Kind of fun. They actually went up pretty early. It actually takes a while to get up to orbit and dock with something. I'm telling you, if you guys are curious at space stuff at all, get Kerbal Space Program. It's a great game, KSP. And then they make this thing called MechJeb, and there's even a kind of look it up, but there's a thing that'll automate a lot of the updates and all this great stuff, and it helps you autopilot, so it'll make the game a lot more fun. But it'll teach you how orbital mechanics, for the most part, kind of work, at least from a very 2D standpoint, at least two-dimensional flat screen. But it's very fun. Very fun. Well, it's 3D when you're flying. Yeah, it's all 3D actually. My bad. Totally 3D. Had a moment. But yeah, so they took it off. It's just cool. I'm not going to play the video. I'd love to, but this is just a fun little article that talked about how we used one of the most a nuclear bomb for peaceful purposes. Russians are extraordinarily good at putting out oil fires, especially super duper high pressure ones that are just they helped us actually in the Persian Gulf, but they have had numerous problems on their own land, and they've used explosive devices. They've gotten them smaller, but they're little mini nukes back in the day. It was like a 30 kiloton device that they blew up underneath the actual wellhead, if you will. And that explosion actually caused it to stop burning, and they were able to cap it at that point. So kind of crazy how they've used nuclear weapons for peaceful purposes. There you go. Never thought it would happen either. Arizona Sheriff Chris Nanos fires back as he claims that blocking the FBI from key evidence. I didn't mean to even pull the story, but yeah, this is bullshit going around where he should quit. I don't know what's going on. The FBI doesn't just get access, but if this dude's I don't think he's stonewalling. And there's something about the glove evidence that has come up now where it looks like there was gloves all over the damn place. And we're going to probably find out it's one of these cop investigators or something that have been running around the place, and they probably threw off a glove and didn't pick it up, and it somehow blew away or whatever. We're going to find out something stupid. Whatever the case is, there's a lot of weird stuff going on with this whole thing. I'm kind of wondering if there's a family member or someone that this chick was working with or something. There's just too much about this that seems really weird. And it's not a huge amount of money they're going for. And why? I mean, there's a lot. I've heard some of the speculation with why this chick is, like, she was going to come out with some anti-pedophile story or something maybe, or I don't know. It's just, there's likely something here. I don't know. I don't know if we'll, it's very strange. Super strange. At least that's why I brought it up, I guess. This is just freaking crazy. This is, I guess, a rarely seen school bus-sized phantom jellyfish. School bus size.
A deep sea discovery off Argentina that looks straight out of science fiction. Look at this. Researchers captured rare footage of a giant phantom jellyfish, a creature that can stretch as long as a school bus. A school bus! Can you believe it? The sighting came during an expedition that may have uncovered nearly 30 new species hidden hundreds of feet below the surface. They're just minding their own business, and now suddenly we have video of them. They're like, oh darn, we've been found out. Proof that there's still a whole lot of the ocean left to discover.
Yeah, that's just wild, right? And they're still trying to find Nemo, apparently. Good Lord, damn fish. All right, well, that's the end of that. Folks, I'm telling you, got a lot going on. I got a bitchin' ass music show that I'm looking forward to doing, and I'm going to go into it sober. Man, the last one I did, I got to be honest, last Friday. Anyone that watched it, it's an hour and 40 long. I normally do about an hour, so it was really long. And I sort of, I was excited. It was a Peter Gabriel. It was epic. It was a very, very good show. If you haven't watched it, you should. It's an amazing show that he did. But man, my last break, I was hammered. I was so drunk. I did not pace myself well. That was like that first, when I opened the mic and started talking, I'm like, oh, this is not going well. Okay, gotcha. Guys should have been there. I was very drunk. If you guys want to, you should watch the last break. I did the 3 short breaks. I was wasted. You'll hear it. It's horrible. So anyway, I'm making amends. So I kind of stopped drinking for a little while. All right. The truth. It's got to be out there, folks. But I love you guys, and we are going to continue rocking and rolling. Today, I've got 3 Doors Down. The dude died, so we're featuring him. If you want to join us live, it's going to be totally cool, but you barely have any time to hear it. I've been talking about it, though, so you should be good. But it'll be 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 Central, 4 Mountain Time. And, yeah, it'll be about an hour. It's good stuff. Got got all sorts in there, like Gin Blossoms. I got Nickelback. I got a few. I haven't printed my list yet, but I got it. I got some stuff. It's good. It's like good classic 90s sort of mellowy, rocky. There's some good, I don't know. That's good stuff. You should check it out. It's fun picking music, I tell you. That said, a lot of change happening. I don't want to say trust the plan because that makes it sound like it's more in people's hands. This is happening. The world's happening, and your guys' version of help actually affects day-to-day experiences that we have. So I'm saying what you do makes a huge difference on what we all experience. But we are going through this change. That's for sure. I'm glad you guys joined me for it. Make sure you hit subscribe, thumbs up, all that good stuff. And if you haven't found out where my channels are, just look up on the Fringe on Rumble. Is probably the easiest place to find me. Because you can just find it easy. Just type literally the channel name is on the Fringe. I'm the owner of that there at least. All that said, we're gonna rock and roll with you guys through this party time that we're in. It's change. It's fun. Where we go one, we go all. It's on the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle.